And today we are going to talk more about neurological health. And those of you that haven't been with us with Dr. Thomas before, that his name, we call him Dr. Thomas, his professional last name is Staudacher. He's a naturopathic doctor, and he has training in several wellness areas like Ayurvedic medicine and also acupuncture and a background in engineering. So he's a very brilliant man and turned his talents towards wellness and working with various types of apparatus that will help you relax. And he'll tell us a little bit more about that. It's type of acoustic restoration therapy. And he has invented this technique where you use sound waves, and the sound waves work with the energy waves of your own body and help you relax. And he is very expert in this and has studied it for years and has invented a particular type of therapy with these sound waves. Acoustic restoration therapy is what he calls it. I want you to know his website address. It's subtleenergysolution.com.au. He is in Melbourne. And this is like a picture of the actual table. Of course, you don't see the sound waves coming off, but the sound waves that he uses at the frequencies do generate this current around the bed. And that is able to help the patient relax. And in his work, he has found that when he works with the LifePharm dietary supplements, especially Laminine is the one he mainly works with, but he does incorporate the other ones. He gets good responses in his clients. So he has invented this particular type of acoustic relaxation technique. And it comes from a background of a lot of research. He has a patent pending status with the somatic resonance bed. And again, it's the natural frequencies from the sound waves are going to resonate with the external frequencies. And this helps the body relax. And the way he explains it to me is that then when you give nutritional therapy, it's all working together because the body is not tense. You know, when the body is tense, the muscles tighten, the chemistry of the body changes. You know, when you get tense in the shoulders, or if you go get a massage, you know, you can say, oh, there's so much tension in your back or in your hips or your lower back. This is due to the body tightening when it's under stress. And so and then it can also, of course, cause pain. And pain itself can be a detriment to its own healing, because when the body is in pain, then the other mechanisms are not able to function either. That's why sometimes, you know, if you hurt yourself or you sprain an ankle or something, and maybe you take something to relieve the pain, then it's like those nerves quit firing and then kind of relax. And then the broken or wounded ankle can begin to repair itself, and the fluids and the immune system can begin to do what they're supposed to do. So this is what he works with in his clinic. And he calls it DNA resonance signaling. This resonance is going to go way into the chemistry of the body, apparently. So it will work with the parasympathetic nerve system and the sympathetic nerve system. And remember, one of these is we're aware of, and one we're not so aware of. We don't tell our heart when to beat, it just beats. And I believe Dr. Thomas is on, so I'm going to turn it over to him to talk more about about his therapy, his resonance therapy. Are you with us, Dr. Thomas?
Hi, guys.
Well, I explained a little bit in my own terms about your resonance.
Yeah, I just liked what you said. But I'm just have website is published now, but of course I'm rewriting everything now. I'm not happy with it. But it is what the DNA resonance signaling is. It just brings basically the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system completely balanced together. And then the body can uptake the nutrition like with Laminine and all this much quicker. Yeah. And yeah, the results now in my clinic is also really outstanding. And at the moment, I'm so busy at the moment, I'm helping a doctor in the Gold Coast as well, to establish the beds down there. And he had 2 clients of mine, and he could not believe it, how they recovered so quickly from all the stuff they had and all this. It's to keep it really simple, it brings you completely in coherence with your whole system and with the whole nervous system. Simple said.
Bringing the body into homeostasis, kind of
Absolutely in
balance.
homeostasis, yeah. Not only in homeostasis, I must say, really, since I use the Laminine, I do have a lot of people, they've been basically their whole life been acidic, and then within a month, some longer, 2 months, they're starting really to get alkaline as well.
Okay, yeah, very important concept.
Very important part of everything. When the system gets alkaline, it's then getting even better. This is something I have seen since I'm using Laminine all the time.
And you notice that with Laminine, that they become more basic, not as...
They come much more basics, yeah. Also, and the rest become basically, it's with the seminar, I had really 2 or 3 people last week, and they had severe anxiety and PTSD, and they cannot believe it, how quick they can recover from it. It's just with the Laminine as well, of course, and it goes even much quicker, but yeah. And like I said, I like to call it DNA resonance signaling, by my programs, they're not based on basically on frequencies, and the body makes its own frequencies. And this is what my programs are based, to support this. It's like a tuning fork, and that really brings it up. That's amazing. And here you can see it anyway, with Laminine now, the thermal imaging, this was only 15 minutes after. And here you can really see how the inflammation is going away. Only after 50 minutes. It's in here on the throat as well, it's all going in the back. It's amazing how Laminine...
The front, you have the front picture and the back picture at the bottom.
Front picture and the back picture. And here you can see where all the red is, you can see the red and the white is gone, and I did a lot pictures like this, but they're all coming up the same. So you don't need to show hundreds of them. But really, the inflammation is reduced sometimes really in minutes.
Today, we thought we would pick your brain a little bit and some of the experiences that you have in your clinic that you've been telling me about reducing stress. And then Dr. Thomas and I did some research, of course, and when we got more into the research, it was, more interesting than we even figured on. And we know that people right now are under a lot of stress, global stress now. And I was telling him about just a local little poll that they did, and it was like 80% of people just feel insecure, and about 90% of people feel a nervousness or a depression. It's like when everything is topsy-turvy. We've had the COVID, and now we've got other global problems, and one thing is leading to the next. And so, but the old saying, peace begins in your own backyard. you do have control of your body and your mind. And so we want to, talk to him about some of those techniques like you talk to your patients. We'll go through just a little bit of this because we got interested in this. These are statistics from the World Health Organization and, global organizations. So look at this. Mental and substance use disorders are common all over the world, not just the United States, but everywhere. It's saying that 1 in 7 people, which is about 15%, have one or more mental or substance use disorders. You want to point anything out on this map? This is the mental health disorders mapped out for the year 2019. We thought this was interesting. Shows the countries. You can see the United States, Europe, Australia, some countries in South America. The red is the strongest one. If you want to chime in, Dr. Thomas, feel free. Anything you notice or want to comment on?
Yeah, I mean, it was always, Australia is really, at the moment, we just had a huge flood again, when a whole town has disappeared, and it's tremendously how much people under stress. You can really feel it even when you're on the street, everyone is really scared, and must really say the Australian happiness is gone at the moment, where you can really feel each single one, keeps distance, is scared, they can get infection or whatever. And now with natural disasters as well, and it has a huge impact on the people. Has a really huge impact on the people. And what I get now from a lot of doctors is it really doesn't matter now where it comes from, but my main clientele is mostly stage 4 cancers and depression and all this, and they have seen a really increase in all their patients. By we know what stress and anxiety can trigger, and a lot of people that have completely been in remission, and the cancer is coming back tenfold now. They are really, really struggling with that here at the moment.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I did notice that. And, we've had terrible flooding in Houston at times, and these hurricanes that come through the Gulf of Texas, and they're just devastating. You lose everything. You can't clean up water very easily. You have shortages of everything.
It's never been happening in Australia. It's all new, but I mean, when it causes so much stress and anxiety, and I mean, there's enough studies out there, and they say it's the trigger to basically everything, And but here, when it says here as well, look, it's completely dark red, so it's really like
interesting
this at the moment. And since the pandemic and all that stuff, it's getting even worse. And people, they have here they don't have so many are homeless now as well. They can afford to rent anymore, but the rent nearly went double up here. And it's this, anxiety is huge. It's really big.
So that goes along with this statistic that we picked up from the United Kingdom, and as a representative country, a Western country, work stress is, as high as 80%. That's a main stressor. Financial stress, of course, coincides with that, especially in these recessionary times. Family stress, health stress, relationship stress, and then others. Anything you want to comment on?
I mean, I think that is all over the world the same, to be honest. I really do think this doesn't matter. It's now UK, it's America, it's Australia. The thing is really, I do think the health stress will go up more in one stage, but I think this is all over the world the same. This really doesn't matter where you go, and there's not to find the source where it's coming from, and it is how it is.
We don't want to get too morbid, but we are hearing more about higher suicide rates. So we picked up this map. Do you want to put some input?
Yeah, I must really say, I do think Australia should be in the red now for what we are hearing here. And personally, I know from a lot of people as well, the family member, or from clients, a family member committed suicide. They couldn't handle the stress anymore. And it's just how they're bringing out the statistics, but it is really a huge thing here in Australia as well. So I think that has to be updated. Yeah.
You know, this map is very interesting. It's very informative. You look at the United States is bright red, and there's Russia and China, bright red, showing high rate for men. And, you know, men identify too with their ability, you know, still their social
status
things
and all.
to make the living. And so men suffer a lot of stress, maybe differently than women.
I mean, with men, I think, I think it depends, you know, where do you live, you know, social and all that stuff and culture. And why everything goes towards just to machines, you know. As I know a friend has a friend of a friend. He has a big company in China. They build houses. You know, houses that get delivered, they're stayed in 3 days. They have 5 employees. You know, it's just all machinery. All machines. There's no one there anymore. Just a few people they are getting in the container. The rest is all machine generated.
I see.
It is, and it's getting more and more of this over there. And yeah, this is just a change of it, you know. But it is amazing, yeah. When you see the suicide rate around the world, this is really a lot.
Yeah, it is. It's very sad. And I went on and included this. Again, I just thought this was interesting information. You know, we have to, as responsible people, we want to be able to help or, you know, interject with some support to people that are depressed or, you know, it's a hard one. But look at this, 10th leading cause of death in the United States, 4th leading cause for adolescents ages 15 to 19 globally.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happened in Australia a lot. So many young people where they don't see a future anymore and all this. And the media has even stopped to go public with it, where it's really a lot. And you hear really from a lot of private people.
And maybe they're getting too much influence from the internet and the face things.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
you know, these aren't real people. This isn't real love or real concern.
I mean, here what is really concerning is, you know, I mean, we went last time out and trying to go out for dinner. And then, you know, a few restaurants you just go in, and a few say, oh, I want to see, you know, this vaccine passport or whatever the thing is. And then even when you sit down, you know, there is no personal connection anymore. You go in, you scan with your phone what you want, they throw it on the table, and that's it. No, they're not getting far away when I'm in there, trust me. And then the young people as well. I mean, there is no interconnection anymore, you know. People have really to be aware that has an impact on our health, you know. They're really not talking. This is the new time now. Everything is online. I said, well, what do you do when the tower breaks down, you know, how you communicate then? And they have absolutely no skills, you know. I was walking on, they have no skills anymore. And I was walking on the beach 2 days ago, you know, when it was the other clinic down there. And I mean, it is shocking. No one was in the water. Everyone is on the phone. It is, I said, whoa. I mean, you know,
Very
It is
different.
it is so differently now, and people have really to learn to be the awareness, that stuff has a lot of influences on you. Right? Our body senses everything, like with 5G and all this, or with 4G, whatever the thing's called, our body is adapting to that frequency, to that stuff, to that frequencies, and has to compensate all the time. And when you
Oh,
think, my secretary at the moment, she has this Apple thing around her hand, and she even phones with it now and say, "Oh, look, it's so cool," And she gets constantly headache. I said, "Do me a favor, just don't wear it more for 3-4 days," and the headache was gone. But it has an influence in our body. Our cells recognizing the cells. Our cells is communicating is with electromagnetic fields. And then when you have a constantly 24 hours on your body, and this causes then a lot of stress as well.
yes, and the
This is some,
TV and the
yeah, the TV, and
computer.
not only this, basically everything, and I tell the people a lot, I just said, "Oh, I'm not stressed at all." But what I have discovered here is so many people, they don't know anymore how is to be relaxed. They completely forgot about it. "Oh, I'm not stressed. I take it really easy," And then when you start asking, "Do you have a little bit pain?" "Yeah, I have a little bit in my knee and in my hip, but it goes in away again." All this, but this is actually really warning signs. They're ignoring it. And when you're young, of course you ignore it. When you get older, when you ignore it, then becoming the typical struggle in. But yeah. There's so much we can talk about it. We will be there till tomorrow morning.
We got into, when we talked about depression and anxiety, we studied up a little bit on post-traumatic stress syndrome. And I think that's more common in our society today. I mean, not that there's always been traumatic stress.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a word for it. We didn't define it maybe, 30, 50 years ago. And now the psychologists talk about it. So, and it can be war veterans, the children of war veterans, things, you got big issues when you've been in a war and your body is threatened at gunpoint or by a war situation. This causes a lot of trauma. And then your trauma will extend to the next generation if you have children, because you'll be more traumatized and maybe react more sensitively. What we found out. Of course, there can be traumatic childhood events, adolescence, domestic violence or intimidation, sexual violation, neglect, accidents. Severe illness and treatment is traumatic after a surgery or a cancer therapy or such. That's just, or a broken knee or hip replacement. All of those are very traumatic, as you have to try to adapt and heal your body and get back to normal. And of course, surviving, we all still have that instinct to want to survive. So we just thought we'd bring some of those up, that those are very real issues that need to be dealt with. And then of course, I want Doctor to talk about a little bit, can we get through some of those things? Can one move beyond post-trauma? And what are your ideas on that?
Yes, absolutely yes. This is why I have developed acoustic restoration therapy to speed the process up. And my observation in all these years I'm doing this now, it comes, in my opinion, all back to nutritional deficiencies. When there's not enough nutrition in your body, biological, your cells need nutrition, especially the amino acids, to function. When this is not in there, and this gets every year worse, you know, this is like a post-traumatic stress is, you know, from, like you said, from war veterans, you know, and then their children, you know, and their grandchildren, you know, they're all, I don't know, I'm stressed, or I have got PTSD, you know, why it really, you need to have enough nutrition in your body. And this is the next problem, you know. This is what I find out, you know. And when you can give it in, and something like Laminine, and then when you know the sign, what the people give you, why I must really say, even the where the bed in the Gold Coast, you know, in the other clinic now, and the whole staff, they can absolutely not believe. They said, we put the people on the bed, but I mean, why do they look so relaxed when you are here, you know? I say, why the body is healing himself most of the time, you know, of course it needs help and all this, but this is not a machine, you know, it's just here to support us. They think they press a button. They have so many machines down there, you have no idea, you know, and PMF and all this. And I said, this program is completely DNA resonance signaling designed differently, you know. And then sometimes I give them, when they're really stressed, well, 2 or 3 Laminine, and they look at me, they're from another planet, but they're completely a foggy brain and everything. And then I wait 2-3 minutes, and I measure this with the Nihilus machine. Also, can read about it in the website. It's published at the moment. And then they're looking at me, and then I just wait and listen what they say. And then I mostly interrupt them and say, how is your brain? They look at me and said, how is the fogginess? You know, fog, also really damn brain. And they certainly said, oh my God, it's gone. You know, also it's just amazing, you know. And this is when the body gets the right nutrition, you know. And we are damping it with other products and all this. And I think a big impact of this is the FGF2 as well, you know, as we know what it can do. And yeah, and then that's what I found out in the last, my God, 20 years I'm doing it now. And yeah, and as I always say, the Laminine is basically doing everything for me. And it's absolutely amazing, you know. But you need to understand as a practitioner, maybe we're starting now with my new PR lady, you know, train people properly as well, you know, to see the signs of the people. But a lot of people, they do not know anymore what is stress or what is anxiety. They think everything is normal. And they're really numb at the moment, you know, with everything what's going on, you know, especially Europe at the moment. I got friends over there, and they're scared these atomic things there now, you know, that all this negativity come from the TB, you know. And then you hear again, you know, like Austria has completely lifted now. They put the people so much under stress all these years, and from the day of tomorrow, they lifted everything. You know, there's no mandate anymore. There is no, you're vaccinated or not. They have completely stopped everything, like the UK, all of Europe now, the countries coming in and changing it again, you know. And but the last 2 years, they have caused so much anxiety in people where no one knows anymore what's going on. And this has an impact, you know. This we have to understand.
Oh,
you know?
I know. We've had to watch people die and be sick. And then if someone did die, we were limited from seeing them. You know, a lot of people died of stress or heart attacks too.
Yeah.
And
you couldn't
so
go to work anymore, nothing.
To say that we haven't been through a lot is not true. We're all just raw from so much going on. And but
yeah, but I mean, yeah, and the people really need help now, you know. So on this why I'm doing this all, you know, and it's the same, you know, like I said, I do with a lot of people with cancer and all this. And I mostly get with them where basically everyone gave up and all this, you know, and but you have to really support them emotional as well.
Yes, and that's a good point for us in the dietary supplement industry and LifePharm is to you know, we really need to promote these supplements. You know,
Yeah, I,
the line of products is
they
very
have,
basic to cover the basics.
yeah. And you know, you have to have really an open mind with it as well. I'll just tell a quick example. I had 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, a lady in here, she was referred from another colleague. Basically since 30, 40 years or longer, constipation, everything. This was all dissolved within 2 weeks, you know. And then, you know, how people are. And then she started eating the wrong things again. But since she started actually to get the digestives, she goes regular again, you know. That is how powerful the products can be, you know. When you think for someone that has so many years constipation, just once a week when it was a lot, you know. Now we're working on her emotional thing, you know, and she gets better and better.
So one
Amazing.
thing at a time improves, and then she
One thing
has,
at a time. Yeah, my
that-
experience is with, like it says here, depression is leading cause of disability worldwide, completely nutritional deficiencies. You know, there's not enough nutrition in the food anymore. You know, I mean, we just have really, I mean, when you go to any seminars now, about 20, 30 years, there was no 40, 50% less nutrition in the food. Now it's over 70, you know, but everything is mass produced. And the earth needs to recover as well, you know. So it is just absolutely, also, I have many people with depression here, and must really say, after a while, depends how bad they were, you know, so half a year, actually the doctor needed to stop to give them the antidepressives. They're all on Laminine and
about
digestives.
6 months even is what you said.
You can really
work
speed
on
it up when I know like I do, when I know the history at the moment and all this, you know me, and sometimes I speed it up to 4, 6, or 12 a day. I take 15 at the time. I need to lose weight and go to the gym. I can hardly move anymore, but at least I don't get the muscle pain. You know, I swallow 15 every day at the moment. Again, you know, and yeah, no, it's on depression. Also, this is just my observation, you know. It's really so many people nutritional deficient. And I can see it on my measurements, what I do here, you know, as well. And then most of them, the vitamin D deficiency, all B deficiencies and all this, you know, and especially the Bs, B6 and 3, I think. And but when you pump them, yeah, I mean, it's quite simple, you know, the building blocks of everything, and everything comes from amino acids, you know, the proteins, everything is built out, and then designed by our body, you know. Simple said. A little bit more to it, but keep it simple.
Well,
And
there's a lot of people that need support and need
yeah,
education and need, you don't have to, you know, be a great neuro psychologist. You just try to help your people that you're in your environment and encourage them to take some of these supplements and, you know, work on yourself and be good to yourself. But these are the facts that we wanted to present to you, because 75% of people with mental disorders, that's in developing countries, you know, also take their lives. 1 in 13 globally suffers from anxiety. And, you know, that leads to phobias and major depressive disorders. And, you know, then you're not enjoying life. Surely we must, part of why we're here is to enjoy the beautiful planet, the sun, and
exactly. Yeah, the
all the
planet is
beautiful
still
things we could do.
the
And
same. Yeah,
and then you get stuck, and then the caretakers or your family members don't know why. Well, get
yeah,
up and move, get up and going, you know, what is it, but depression, am I right, can just really pull somebody down.
It does, yeah, really. And then, you know, even in the depression, they have to go to work, they have to survive, and when it gets in really, and they're
Yes.
coming in, all the people are coming really in a really vicious cycle there, you know, and then comes, oh, I got arthritis now, I got this, you know, and then they'll be pumped full with medication, and you know, they're all right spinning in the cells, there's not left like natural. And it has an impact on gives attrition as well, especially on the gut and all this, you know.
It kind of
It is,
becomes a spiraling.
it comes a spiraling, and to get out of this, you know, and maybe we should really do something together with LifePharm in the beds and with this around to educate people as well, why it slowly comes, they really need help now. They're with the situation, you know, and the thing is, what I have seen now in my clinic and all this, but to get the people out of the spiral, like if you're a really a good sample now, what I do when someone comes with severe, I have many people that were, you know, completely alcoholics and all this, you know, and push them on the bed. Most of them, even with drugs, you know, they don't touch anything for months. They feel him again, you know. And then you can really see eventually, and then there's, I think that's done, I can feel myself. And then when they're nutrition deficient, this old behavior comes back, you know, where the body hasn't got the energy to absorb all the news and all this, you know, and, to regulate it, you know, and then, yeah, when they're stopped then coming and all this, and they're falling then slowly back to it again. And this is why they need a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and they also need the nutrition, you know. And I've got quite a few psychologists and counselors, and they're using it on, they're giving their clients as well. And now they have really conversations with them. They can uptake the words, while words is just a vibration as well, you know, and frequencies. And they're really holding on, and they're getting much better results with the people when they have the right amount of nutrition in there.
Oh, what a good point. You know,
Yeah.
that's such
This really, this is my, why, and then everyone says, oh yeah, how you deal this and this. And I said, listen, I don't deal anything, but I mean, as a practitioner, I know, you know, when my alarm bell goes on, hey, 100,000 tests immediately, you know, to see something, you know, but when you do it really slowly and you listen to that, what the client say, what your patient says, you know, it's their body, you know. Status is amazing. I can give you a guidance and all this, and it shows you what's going on, you know. But but when you introduce just the right nutrition to it, I mean, then it goes then much quicker. But
that's
just
such an important point.
Yeah.
And that's something we can do something about. You know, we can take good nutrition, select good nutrition, and then our group at LifePharm, we are teachers.
We are exactly, we are teachers, yeah.
And that was actually try it. And then, like you said, the lady tried the digestive, her constipation was relieved. She's starting to get in a better mood. And now you can talk to her about other things.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're real focused on pain or a condition, you don't think about other things. You don't, you know, if you're, you can't hear, you can't absorb, you can't critically think. You're just in your own world of pain or sluggishness or what have you. So you're not open.
Yeah, and see, I had recently someone, I mean, she's really stage 4 cancers, and she could not get out of bed anymore. She got tumors pressing everywhere. 2-3 sessions on the bed and a lot of Laminine, and guess what? Within a week or two, she was pain-free. The doctor could not believe it. It was completely pain-free, you know. Wonderful. And then it doesn't matter. I mean, lucky at the moment, the beds, the therapy only in Australia, but soon I will go worldwide with it. But you know, it's just a combination. But you get also good results when you are going to a chiropractor or whatever. You know, we have to work together. Not always say, "Oh no, mine is doing this and this." You know, this is, I can't stand this, to be honest. But you know, but to see the ability of the body, of your body, when it starts to restore, oh my God. what I have seen, I mean, it doesn't make sense at all, you know. It is just, you know, and this is just when you give the right nutrition, you know.
And
then
then
everything, even in the blood test, everything comes back to normal. They've been for years iron deficient, vitamin D, and certainly after a while, everything is back to normal, you know, without supplementations, you know, what people usually buy and all this, you know. It's like when I get intravenous minerals and amino acids and all this, you know. I know there was highly successful clinics in Bali or whatever, where drug addicts gone and they're getting every day just infusions with amino acids, you know. They have a high success rate, you know. That is artificial nutrition a little bit, but it goes straight in the bloodstream, you know, and it transports it around the body, you know. But what people have to understand as well, when we just quickly come in this, and this is relevant to stress and anxiety as well. What most of people don't understand is really is stress and anxiety is a lot of time also comes out when there's internal already a problem with the kidneys, most of the time with the liver, you know, it's not detoxing properly. And then you have to think, you know, there's a simple question, just say, oh, hang on, I'll say, you wake up between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning? Yes, every time, I don't know why, and da. Say, liver, Chinese, you know, Chinese knowledge, and the liver wakes you up, you know. And I have many people with fatty liver and all this, and it gives you, as you know, a completely differently hormonal system, you know, and they can cause stress and anxiety as well. You know, your whole hormones are out of balance. They don't know anymore what to do. They're just swirling around and setting on where they're meant to be. And this is another big impact, you know. And but when you get the right nutrition in there, like with Laminine, with a lot of people, it completely starts restoring as well.
And it has some effect because the growth factors, or the parts of the growth factors that are active, which we've shown, will affect the hormone levels a little bit.
Of course, it affects
very
everything.
subtly, but
yeah,
enough. You said that
yeah,
you see some hormone balance too in both men and women.
yeah. I mean, this is see, it is quite, as in my eyes, you know, it is quite normal. Of course, it affects the hormones, you know. I mean, this is a synergetic system. When something is missing, it is actually especially with the brain, everyone thinks, you know, I have to think, I have to take this. The brain is actually just receiving the signals, and then the brain starts to produce some hormones or whatever, you know. Also, they have recently just found out that from the brain comes a completely different estrogen out, you know, produced by our brain. There's a study 2 years old or 3 years, you know, and we're thinking we need to get this always with tablets in, you know, but our bodies, our bodies are completely self-regulating system. Of course, when something is too much, you have to give it in and support it, you know. But unfortunately, it is in the long run, most of the time is not so successful, you know, why it is not natural completely, you know. And it's never been designed to be only for, like the contraceptive pill was only designed to be 2-3 months on it, you know, and now people on it for 20 years when they don't have babies. And there's a study, it's called 1 Million Women Studies in England. Oh, go more into that, and they'll show you exactly the side effects after 20 years. You know?
Yes, that's
so,
very.
It brings everything out of balance, and then people getting depression, stress, anxiety, you know. Suppose, yeah, like I said, you're in a spiral, you know, it's hard to get out, you know. And this is my support here is the acoustic restoration therapy and my technique here. And and then with the Laminine, to just build it up, you know. They need the nutrition. Let's be absolutely honest, it's the cheapest way to do it. Another discovery what I had was really in the clinic. I got people coming in, there's so much in pain and all this. And then sometimes I give right away 2 or 3 Laminine or whatever, just to see the response to it. And with this, I evaluate, you know, how bad they are. And I can really see in the face how the pupils go smaller and all this, you know, what that means. And they start relaxing. They don't even realize when they relax anymore.
Yes.
And then I say to them, okay, do me one favor, just stand up and walk. And then the pain is completely gone, but then it traveled. It certainly first it was in the hip, then it was in the knee, and then a little down there. And then I said, this is just your tension in the muscles, you know. But when your muscles tense all the time like this, you know, for the muscle goes everything, nerves, everything, you know. And last week I had a lady here who worked nearly a year on it now, and leukemia, everything is now in balance, it's nearly gone. And finally with her specialist, where she's on heavy, was for so long on heavy medication, I told her it will take a while. Now the platelets, everything stable. Before it was up and down, up and down, up and down. Now it's completely stable in 3-4 months. And certainly she's changed the language, you know. And then certainly she got really severe pain in the hips and all this. And then I just showed her, no, have a look, and showed her the chart. I said, see, this is sciatica. The tablets are too strong for you. She needs to reduce it, you know. And then she just said to her, oh, this is just a side effect of the medication she's on, you know. When it's not getting better, then she will maybe do something in 3 months. And I said, you know, that's too long. But within these 3 months, it can be cause much troubles in the stomach, you know what it does, you know. Also, and then she was stressed again, but then she calmed down again. When people know the process, what's going on in the body, they're more adaptive to really get better. But most of people, they do really think one tablet, they swallow one tablet and everything is gone, and they think then the whole environment has to change as well, you know. It's a little bit hard at the moment, you know, and but especially the immune response, like this said, you know, and then this is a chemical, everything like this has a chemical reactions in our body, you know, and then the hormones getting out of balance, you know.
Oh, yes, these are such good points you're making. See, to balance
time to
with the good nutrition and the all the good stuff that's in the Laminine, even alone, is starting to straighten out the chemistry of the body. Exactly. With the amino acids, like you're saying, are so key. And you're going to have to build that up and get the right levels. And then the growth factors, we think, from the Laminine play a very important role in stimulating cell proliferation. And their, you know, cells love that LifePharm egg. They just blossom and proliferate, and their telomeres become repaired all the way down to the DNA level somewhat, you know. So we know that something's going on. We don't know everything, even though FGF2 is being studied a lot in the major universities. They're injecting it into the knee cavity, and even when there's a stroke, they're doing clinical studies to get the blood vessels to repair faster. So there's a lot of, you know, interesting things that are going on with FGF2 in the science world. They're looking at it, and here it is in this fertilized egg.
It's already in there, you know,
it's human. It's the same factor that's in the human, you know, species cross chemicals, you know, sometimes. So this has been fascinating to hear these responses.
Yeah, and I can even show now as then in my new member site, on my new site. We still need to set it up properly, but I need to show you the studies as well, and all this comes back to vibration then as well, where, you know, the cells oscillating all the time. On this, like acoustic restoration therapy is a completely new form of sound wave therapy, I call it, you know. I finally stick to one name now. I'm not changing it for 5 minutes.
So is it sound waves?
It's sound wave therapy. It's completely different. It has nothing to do with frequencies, but the mind programs are so designed. See, Kimberly, we have set how many trillion cells we have in our body? 20, 70 trillions of cells, single cells. They all vibrate on a different level. It's not only one, they're vibrating the same thing, you know. So all clinically tested, you know, but to create coherence in there, you know, as well like Laminine does to the physical body, the bed does exactly the same to this electromagnetic fields, you know. And we have enough studies out there how good it is and all this, you know. It's like this why Laminine worked for me so well with it, you know, and people that just can absolutely not believe it, you know. And I said, well, just take it easy, and then slowly, then we have to support them, you know, to change them a little bit in the lifestyle and all this, you know. It is amazing, you know, and yeah, this is really amazing. Hold me back at the moment. Cannot talk hours about that one. Okay.
So let's tell the audience a little bit about the biological science
Yeah.
where these three systems are related. That's the psyche and affects your attitude or your emotions or what is going on in the outside, the trauma or the trigger.
Okay, I bring him that in my relation, how I work here, you know, everyone works differently, especially with the psyche. This is now experience since all these years now. And psyche has a really important part of everything. And I think we had a discussion before with everything what's going on, you know. It's actually clinically proven everything that's we perceive fear and all this before it's really happening. Does it make sense? Also, they have done studies, you know, show people pictures, nice pictures or bad pictures. I forgot now the name of it, but on before the picture about the war came or whatever, our system already responded to it before the picture was online. And remember me to send you that studies, you know, and our sensory system is so sensitive that is absolutely, we have to really to understand it. We are not numb, we're just numbing it with medication and all this. But even this one, the sensory system is so sensitive with us, you know. And this is, like I said before, this is absolutely with nutritional deficiencies and all this gets worse and worse. And then dumbing it more down with heavy medication and all this is all good as long as it helps, you know. But we all know when you a long time, like just say Oxycontin, on the side effects of it, you know. And then people thinking, oh, now it's too much, I want to stop, and they can't, you know. And this is again a spiral and a vicious cycle, you know. And yeah, on this in a biological form, that stress has then naturally, of course, causes inflammation, you know. And you have seen the pictures what we showed in the beginning, you know, the person was extremely stressed, you know, and then they give Laminine, it goes away, you know. And then people thinking, why does it come back? They have to understand all this system working synergistically together. When you only target one of them, it will not work, you know. But you can really speed it up, and I use now Laminine for it, you know. And people responding to it absolutely amazingly, you know. And then the inflammation gets less and everything, and it starts to get less and less, you know. And then tell them to get me things in another blood test and all this, and certainly just in the blood test comes back to normal as well, and the liver, everything, and then you know, that's when people then starting calmer, but they have to understand the process, you know. They're thinking most people are thinking our body is basically a machine, you know. Something is broken, you replace it and get a new one, and they can continue what they want. That's not a machine. That is a living structure, and it takes 7 years. Listen, it takes, as far as I know now, some say 5, 7, I don't care, 7 years our body replaces everything, bones, structure, everything. Never mind look when most divorces are after 7 years. When they're not changing the environment, they get nervous and anxious, and they can handle it anymore. And then most of people in 7 years is finished, you know, as a divorce or whatever, you know, when you see it in this way, you know. And the perception of life events, like I said, our body is really that sensitive, we are sensing before something happening, people think, oh, this is nonsense and all this, but it's not. Science is even said exactly the same. And on this and then comes, of course, especially why you said with the war veterans, they don't understand, but most of the children, they are depressed and all this as well, it's called cell memories. And it's your DNA in your child, it's not someone else's most of the time, and this is then activated as well. It doesn't go away like this, you can all prove that with science, and it's, and and then they need guidance to understand the process, and then they start changing. And this is most of the time is really, and this is for me here important. The bed does acoustic restoration therapy, does the energetic aspect of it, and Laminine does for me absolutely everything nutritional wise. I have not found anything else on the whole cascade here of neuron, psychological outlook, immunology. Everything gets stronger when your nervous system is calmed down. The brain can send the right signals out. It's that simple. You don't need to be a neuroscience to understand that, and it's just getting now reinforced with the sound wave therapy. They're so gentle and it works on sound wave patterns, and they can help regulate this in the, let's say, quantum level, and then you get in synergy in there, and the body has then the power from all sides to restore without sensing the influences, and get stronger and stronger.
Well, that's fascinating, because that they really understand that. I mean, a lot of people and doctors and or people in general probably have felt that way through time in traditional medicine. Oh, she's run down, or she's a nervous wreck, and then you get weak and you might get sick, or emotional things in the movies that happen, and then they go out in the rain and they catch pneumonia, so the scientists today, or biologists, call it psychoneuroimmunology.
Exactly, yeah. They're just they're just adopting a name, but in the end, when you have always to come to understand it really simple. Come back to the basics. That's not the machine. This is a living organism, and then you get less and less. Otherwise, it's just names, and and then there's so many differentiations out there now. And then in the end, oh no, we can't find anything. You have to go home now and die or whatever. And for stress. And as you know, as I do, medicine is not showing the doctors nutrition. It's just not in the programs.
Not in the program much.
And they have to follow their rules. It's getting even worse now. I mean, let me get into that, but they just don't know. And they have to follow their rules.
Right.
That's all what it is, but I must really say, so many, they want to change really a lot, also the medical profession is still amazing and all this has always been. And then one day, hopefully they work a little bit more in synergy with together and all this, and allow the body to heal itself again. As you probably know as well, the brain is only here to send signals out. The signals tell the gut, do this to repair this and all this. When this is constantly gets disrupted, what do you think what's happening? This is why
so much of the brain chemistry
is amazing.
Nutritionally, you're right. If you suffer nutritional deficiencies, then the brain is going to be running at half mast. It's not operating fully.
Not operating fully, and then the brain, and then you basically run constantly under the sympathetic nervous system, fight and flight response.
Yes. And another thing you just made me think of is that when you've had a trauma or a fright or an accident or something, and then you're in that fight flight, or you have that anxiety,
Yeah.
then of course that's taxing your body. That's
Yeah.
aging your body.
Completely aging your body, and what is really scary here sometimes when parents bring their kids in and I put them on the machine and I look at them and then I say basically, oh my God, are you having just junk food? No, we're eating really good food. And why? I say, the readings of your child, I get this usually with people that are 70 or 80, they're already so nutritional deficiency. It's really scary. And then they're diagnosed with ADHD, nutritional deficiencies, and on the people need, I mean, there's so many so many information out there, but it gets really now not out anymore, as everything is biased. And the thing is, but yeah, it comes always back to the same, and of course,
Yeah, some basics, and it's
basics, come back to the basics. Yeah.
We've been in the dietary supplement industry for a long time.
Yeah.
And when you look at even our little simple line of products, it's not too complicated. Everything is, has a purpose.
Yeah.
Has a unique purpose and plays a unique role in the structure and the function of the cells and tissues of the body. So why would it hurt to pump up and be sure that you're getting that? And just like you said, I went to the Library of Congress here in Dallas. We have a beautiful old library, and it was as early as the 30s where they began to realize, the agriculture department, that the dirt was depleted. The vegetables were less and less, vitamin B or whatever it was they were measuring. They could actually tell as the decades went by, the dirt is more and more depleted. And had meetings in Congress about it because they were getting concerned. And of course, so we're talking about it today.
Yeah. The same as you said, like with the earth, when you constantly grow, vegetables in the same earth, of course there's less nutrition, I mean, I own horses, and my other horses at the moment, through all the rain, we have basically to mow the grass every 1-2 weeks, where it's boom, shooting up like this. But now we have to pay to get hay for the horses. The reason is there's no nutrition in the grass. Right, the body, like you said, and this is all what all our ancestors said. They knew exactly what to do, and this has just been taken away from us, And you have to think then, even when it still looks like a vegetable or like an apple or like a strawberry, there's nothing there. It just looks like. And then they started to manipulate it genetically, just so it looks good, and. But sometimes, I mean, when I buy here vegetables, first of all, it's probably all around the world the same. All the fresh apples and all this, what they say is fresh. They're minimum 3 or 5 years old. They've been frozen somewhere for all this time. Yeah. When they don't know, this is definitely, I think, all around the world like this. And I know that from people that work in the field, they're frozen for 3-4 years. And they come in the shelf. And then you can leave them outside for weeks and a month or 2. They look still the same. Hello. It can't be that fresh, isn't it? Also, on the testing, but I mean, it's just so different, and I do think it's changing now. A friend of mine has said in Germany, they're starting to rethink now. They're starting, differently. We've just been so programmed this consumerism and all this, and but the thing is, really, there is no food. This is 70% less nutrition in the food. When you go to any, I mean, the normal public has no access to it, but when you go, where you're going, they're really coming to the point, and then, it's unfortunately controlled outside, and they don't want to lose the money, also it's always a vicious cycle,
Well, a good sign in finances, and I read a lot of material though, but even during recessions in the the last decade or so, organic vegetables and fruits grew 20%, 20%, 20% per year. Just a steady growth. It never slumped, since about the 80s. And it's just grown. So people are waking up and learning, and hopefully we'll make changes in our society that, will be positive, working with the LifePharm products and being supportive to other people, and knowing that you're helping them with their mood or their bowels or their brain function.
Kimberly, when you just say that, when there's people that are listening now to it as well, we know how good it is in all this, but we are so brainwashed, people expecting you taking 1 or 2 tablets and everything has to change, but it gives you also a chemical response in the body, the laminine, and this is here, when there is too much damage here, it starts to restore, And this is what people are not aware of it, They think, oh, I need to get me something for antidepressants and all this. We have to reverse something differently, and I would personally, when it wouldn't work, I wouldn't throw it out like this I do here, So I'm very skeptical. But I found a study from a doctor in the 50s. He actually said, what he called osteoporosis or whatever, is when people start to get calcium deficient, this means the body takes the calcium from the bones, isn't it? Yeah, has completely to do with stress. There's a chemical response in the body. So I try to keep it simple so people understand it, I have to study and all this. And in my measurements with the, what's this thing called? Quantum magnetic resonance body analyzer, you have this over there as well. When it says bone mineral density, and usually people all in the red and in the blue, this is bad. When they start to coming down, it shifts immediately over to the green again, back to normal. So he was absolutely right. This is amazing, but I mean, that's what stress causes as well. The body stops the completely natural functions of everything, and it's the same when people eating at 7 o'clock at night. It's not good, right? The digestive system stops to work at 5. They have to support it with digestive enzymes, and people have completely, right? The thing is, all this knowledge was taken away from us. Now at school, the only thing with the kids learning how to make money and how you look like. This is all gone. It's no teaching. There's no history in Australia anymore. They don't do history classes anymore.
No.
As far as I know, no real history, and this is just Europe the same. When I went to school, there was still, going on with we needed to learn to cook and all that stuff. Never been good in it anyway. But bottom line is, and this is all gone now. Now, even in the kindergarten, and a person from the bank goes there and tells them how they have to save money. This is how they manipulate people, Also, it is, it's really, that has to change.
Well, and we were hopeful if we had good education that we would learn.
Yeah, we are really lucky, but I mean, most of the people that don't have the education anymore, and this is what they have taken away. And this knowledge was taken away after the summit they had 1920 with Albert Einstein and all this, and then they started to completely manipulate all the universities around the world. I need to show you the video. It's nothing to do with conspiracy and all this, but see, this knowledge is all coming back again, just with science combined, but I mean, not everyone has time to read that stuff. It's a hell of a lot to read, so, and everyone relies on science, but, and after I have seen this, I mean, I was skeptic, like I said, all the time with Laminine as well. Oh, networking, I don't do networking and all this. And then I just one day had them all a look at it and said, oh, hallelujah, there's all amino acids in there, boom. And then it developed like this, this is, for me, was just logic thinking. On every study you're reading, when you go down to the micro level, every second, third word is amino acids, amino acids, amino acids. You know, this is the building blocks of everything. And yeah, on how it works hormonal, I don't know, I said this in other talks or whatever. What I have experienced with a lot of women, they had the worst periods ever for so many years. When they're taking Laminine for a regular time, it usually takes 2-3 months, the period comes back all normal.
Normal
Ain't nothing, yeah.
functions.
With a hell of a lot of females.
See, there's that hormone, just a slightly effect on a little bit of the hormone level and the amino acids building the tissues.
Exactly.
So, is there any advice you would give us about what we should do for stress and anxiety, or if you know someone that has it, what would you start to recommend? Can you?
What I do,
different.
Laminine digestive is always, and when they have lots of inflammation, then I always combine it with immune, yeah. And then I do personally, when they start to get better, then I introduce the omega. I do not give the whole thing in one go. It's too much for the system. I don't get the same results, you know. Also, Revive is really good for maintenance. It's amazing, yeah. But for, I got many people I get the Revive in, where, you know, I put high dosages in, and then extra large Laminine, extra digestives, you know, so they don't have to open 7-8 boxes all the time. And but I do get it's really about the dosages and how you support the people so they understand what's going on in their body and in the mind, you know. And
well, that's the benefit of having you as a doctor or health professional. You talk to
professional,
and we can talk to people and work with people. You have a knack. Of course, that's more your talent, but
it's not only with me now. I mean, I created now, you know, with acoustic restoration therapy, and I teach people now to use the beds as well. And it's like now is even a certain doctor involved, and he can absolutely not believe how the people calm down, you know. And I only do this when I have no access to all the blood tests, you know, and I can do testing. Go a little bit further in details, but I mean, he said with a few things, yeah, he said, I tried the same, I haven't had this one. I say, yeah, you're not trained in nutrition, it's the whole problem. It is like the way it is, you know. And they do a 2 hours course in it there, you know. And I was lucky here when I started nutrition and all this. Here, there were 2 girls, and they really managed as at least the doctors have in Australia for 1 or 2 hours nutritional teaching. They managed to get that into the medical, but only 1 or 2 hours, you know. Also, and but for see, when anxiety, depression is really, really come back to what you ask here. Bad is, I would definitely do, higher dosages, you know. Also, and it's just when you can't afford it, and you just take 1 or 2 in a digestive, and then just do not expect, you know, why when people are really anxious and depression, there's so much damage done to the organs, to the kidneys, to the liver, to the gut, you know, leaky gut. And that's what people forget. This needs to be repaired, you know. And this is why the Laminine goes there first. What needs first comes first, you know. Also, and then you can really, really dose it up. When I mean dose it up, you know. And when you remember the picture with the lady with the leg, they wanted to amputate. Here you could really see physically how powerful this stuff can be, you know. But with that lady, it would have taken in the hospital over a year to heal, you know, and it was in 4 weeks closed.
Well, and that's such a good point, because the body is torn down with the issues and the stress or the bad diet and all the whatever's going on. So now you've got to build it, and that's going to take.
You have to build it up
too.
It takes some time. So as younger goes quicker, but you know, so much damage as older, it takes longer. And at the moment I have a lady, she came now for a month or so regular, twice a week on the bed. She's on Laminine and all this. And her fingers were completely stiff arthritis. And this all starts loosening up. She can move them again. It's hardly any pain left. But she knows she has maintenance, And yeah, that's how it works. You just
So
have to
for
keep it
someone like me or a 150-pound person and I'm depressed or run down, should
Yeah.
I take 2 Laminine in the morning, 2 in the
Kimberly,
afternoon?
I take 15 a day. You should do the same.
How many?
15.
15, and that'll really make a difference.
Bump it up, get 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and you can feel. And then the same amount midday. Here in Australia, it's funny. I had a lot of people when you give it after 3 o'clock, they can't sleep. They're
You
getting so much
told me
energy.
that.
Yeah, but give it just a go. On sometimes, when I have really bad eating habits, my last 1-2 months was mad here, so busy and all this, and I never got time to eat. And I've even 4 or 6 digestives a day, So, but
Well,
that
this is good to hear.
that should be really only be done with someone like me now, or someone who is really understands the product, but you're not always on so much, but the thing is,
Well, yeah, and it's a little pill. I mean,
it comes always down, and when people understand this, and this is why I put sometimes so big orders through, and they're thinking I stock up, this is for one person, and but I mean I get the effect I need,
well,
I mean,
and you're getting, it's not a drug that's going to do something bad
that's
to
the
you.
thing. No, you can combine it
So
with
taking
everything.
2 or 3, you're not overdosing. If you're a big man or you eat a certain type of diet, like you said, or woman, then you can take these. They're
You
safe.
can take it is a nutritional product. I mean, it's just amino acids in there, and see, I have quite a few, I don't know, they're on the website now, and I mean, it's unheard most of the time, those people, when they do chemo radiation therapy, they have so many side effects. Here, I got a whole bunch, they did the whole thing where they just looked for a combination, to calm them down. And guess what? They had 90% less side effects.
Oh, that's good news.
With acoustic restore. And this is why I have published the website now. This is to let people know, and when you know exactly how much to give, why remember when you give this the Laminine or whatever, and my experience at the moment, the omega comes after. Now I start taking a lot again. Why I know then my gray hair disappears after a while. Sounds weird, but it's really I
Well, it looks dark. It doesn't look that.
it's dark light. It was a really short hair, but it's really coming up. I was so busy I have no idea what went on here, but usually after that is really quiet 1-2 months, but I mean, I just, poof. And then I stop it now doing again. And then, and I'm not always, but the thing is when you cannot do damage to it and all this, and my experience is with a lot of people as well, they think Laminine is medicine. No, it's not. It's a nutritional product.
That's right. So you don't have to be afraid to take.
Don't have to be afraid. And I had just recently with someone, the poor lady, and they're bringing all the studies to the doctors and all this and the oncologist, and they said, oh, that's nonsense, never heard about it, and without knowing the benefits for the people, and that's the cheapest form, trust me. I got at the moment a few clients that spent last year $100,000 just with their oncologist. But
Yes.
it is just the balance with it.
Is an art as well as a science. And the
It's
word
exactly
science, a lot of people say, oh, science, but science from the Greek means to know. It means to study or learn, it doesn't.
Medicine means teaching as well. A doctor in the old language means teacher.
Teacher.
It's never meant to be what it is now, but the knowledge comes back now, I mean, I sit here in Australia, and the people are really, what's happened in the last 2 years, it woke a hell of a lot of people up as well, but now
Oh,
we have really to deal with the side effects of it, and they're gonna be now generations.
yeah.
They
Interesting.
just have created a new
Global
generation.
depression.
Global depression, and people are really needing this, and this is, maybe the timing is right now, and we have really to do, and we can do definitely more with Laminine as well, or with acoustic restoration therapy, and why it is just amazing.
We can, people that want to talk to you more about their specific situation can go to
They
your
can go to
website.
the website now, subtlerenergysolution.com.au. I mean, just be aware, change the wording again.
Okay, and I'm going to show your slide once more.
Yeah.
Let me tell you another interesting thing that LifePharm has done is they've started a podcast.
Yeah.
You are going to be on one of the next podcasts in the next 2 or 3 weeks. You're scheduled. Janet Walker has worked with PBS for years, Public Broadcasting System station. And so she is an excellent interviewer and very smart, and just, really helps you explain things. So everywhere you go for a podcast, you can find our LifePharm podcast. This is something we just started a couple of months ago. This lady will speak, Dr. Felicia Staudacher. She is a lifestyle medicine physiologist, and will have a lot of interesting things to talk about, and clinical nutrition, and the things that she can teach us about is weight management and these types of things, and tying in some of our products. And then Thomas, Dr. Staudacher will speak too in this upcoming 2 or 3 weeks. So we just wanted to alert everybody to focus in on our podcast too. And this is Dr. Staudacher's website, where you can find out more information, and then that you can go into your email and have a private consultation with him.
People can come, they can come in and they can get telehealth, my staff will sort it out and all this, when they have really concerns about dosages and all this. Why it will take definitely half an hour. They just have to book in for our consult,
Yes, you need.
And I do not care. I do really, not now, then they sign up under me. So it is just basically, we have really to support by people have really forgotten how to feel good and how to relax.
Oh yes, we've
That's
got to
the
know to
problem,
feel good.
On the thing is, but when they're in here, most of the time, I always look for the little signs, for me, most important thing is to sleep. I say, sleep just half an hour long. I say, that's working. And then you wait a month or two, and then they sleep 3-4 hours long, and they don't wake up anymore, but people need to know that. It's like a detox, the body is repairing, and it brings all the crap out, that's that simple. Come back to basics, when there is something in there, when the alarm bell is, and of course you up to the doctors and get blood tests done, mostly. I mean, my people that do work with doctors together anyway, and I use the blood test just as a reference. It's their job to get the biological form running, but they're unfortunately just so trained, not in nutrition, and they think it's the medication doing it. And this, unfortunately, right spinning, not left. Left is the natural thing, I guess. And then the body is even compensating this, and this is again where acoustic restoration therapy comes in, like I said, people that do all this chemo radiation, the side effects are tremendously reduced with it. And I'm not interfering in the progress of the chemotherapy and all this. They were, so just for the nervous system to calm down.
Well, yeah, and overstressed nerves, that's what we
Overstressed,
have. Our
you know what
nerves
it
are
is,
firing all the time.
They're
taking
firing
in
and firing
stimulus.
and guess what they need? Nutrition for it. They don't need medication for it. They need
Yeah,
nutrition.
because it's breaking it down or don't repair quick enough, the damage.
On when it gets worse, and then comes the heavy medication. That's the only thing what they do is basically stopping the signals to the brain. That's all what they do. They do not repair, but people do think they will repair me. No, they do not. All this medication that just stop the signal to the brain and gives a different signal. You know, so the brain is not reacting to it. It's not repairing. But to repair your body, guess what? You have to go the way how we have been created, you know, and you need nutrition for it, not a metal or something, you know. So it's just the way it is, in my opinion.
Very good. Well,
simple.
You explain it so well to kind of keep it simple. And this is so good for our IBOs because you can have a simple conversation and relate a complex idea simplistically to encourage that person to take Laminine. Oh, try if you're nervous or depressed, take 4 of these, take 6 of these. Let's call Dr. Staudacher and talk to him a little bit about your situation or email him.
When they're really too stressed and they can't feel the things, you know, I'm more than happy that I have the book in. I've read the book in early where hardly can get me in. But the thing is, you know, they just need it, you know, and I mean, I teach this now for my students. Now they are doing acoustic restoration therapy as well, the modality, you know, and they get bombarded with it. So you have to listen what the person tells you, the science and all this, you know, and the science is just here to explain things, you know, and you know how it is. It changes every time, all the time anyway. You know, when I go and study, you're only allowed to take the last 2 or 3 years for the newest research, you know, and all those 4 or 5 years old, you can't use anymore. You know, even this is changing all the time, but people don't know, you know, and everything what's online most of the time, and this is 10, 20 years old. And you know, exactly like me, they do not give us the newest studies out here, right? They're trying to develop one machine and then they make, you know, usually profit on it, you know, and yeah, that's just the way it is. But yeah, but I do have a page, you know, and when people are really want to, I need to set this up properly as well. I do have a membership, 2 different levels on the site. Then I don't know if they're active now. I need to get a new one in. And one is for members, one is just only for clients, and they're getting more information in depth.
Okay. Wonderful.
It's all in the coming, and when people want, they just have to send a request. You know, they have been on the talk and all this, you know, and then we go from there. But I have no idea how you structure this one, and I'm a nightmare. You know, I got 5 computers. When I know something, I have to run upstairs. I remember it's on this computer upstairs. I don't know how to link this whole thing together. Like, you know, it's too much, you know. And then
just keep doing what you're doing.
She said as well, Thomas, you have to do what you're doing, and she will helps me and takes all over. And she's since 30 years in this business, and she had amazing results as well now. And she said that needs to come all over the world now, you know, and maybe we should do something with LifePharm together as well, but people really need help, you know.
Well, let's keep that in our thoughts because, you know, giving and receiving. And
the thing is, it's giving and receiving. Yeah, I think the same, you know, and that's why I'm doing this, you know, and, you know, I'm too busy to do other things, but and then in the end it comes positive back to you anyway when in the right direction, you know. But at the moment people do really need help. And they have no idea the simple stuff is out there, you know, and but it is unfortunately they have taken all the knowledge away and now it comes back again. And then on the one thing I really need to say as well, as out of experience now, is when you run for 30, 40 years under the sympathetic nervous system, under stress and all this, and a lot of people thinking, oh, when I get retired, everything will be better, than I have the money and all this, you know. Oh, big mistake. That time is gone. it is clinically proven when you start getting retirement, you completely, it's basically like a switched over the system, also to, like say, to the parasympathetic system. And guess what the system does then? Hey, where is my organs? They're not functioning normal. And then certainly the diseases come up. There's so many people, I had it here with men with prostate cancer, they're just retired, 3 weeks later, certainly prostate cancer. It is really weird. A lot of people, and that's what people have to be aware. They're thinking, when I get retired, everything be normal. And especially like it is here, when you have something like this and you get not a lot of support from certain government things here, and you have basically sell everything just to pay for the clinical bills, you know. And that's what people have to be really aware now. It's getting worse now, you know. Why you have really to prepare when you're young and all this, so this stays in balance. And for this, Laminine has absolutely shown to me is able to do it, you know. Cannot hurt to swallow 1 or 2 tablets a day, you know. And I've not sold any minerals or vitamins since years, you know. I don't need it. When I need it, of course, you know. But the thing is, that needs to be awareness of people a lot as well. When they're thinking, oh, when I get retired, everything will be back to normal. No, it will not. Your body then shuts down and your brain says, okay, let's activate the parasympathetic nervous system. And certainly, oh, the kidney is too weak to, you know, to work. What's wrong with the liver and all this? And then you get the medical tests, you know. And then it starts the whole cascade of
yeah, no, psychological shutdown or something.
Psychological shutdown, yeah. And a lot of people have this. And I have my experience here, I do this long enough now here. And I prepare all my clients on a completely different way. And this is why I'm so busy, you know. I have my clientele here for years, not only when I have conditions, it's easy to deal with it, just pump them full with Laminine and all this. And they need to be monitored, they're happy with it. Then I get the doctor results, everything is back in normal, you know, and they do all the screenings. And it's a completely different modality what I have developed here now. You know, I just get the reason I gave it acoustic restoration therapy is did I not send you the information about how our cells create sound? I need to send you that. You will love that one. And even with this one, you know, when they create sound, they can already protect. I don't know, I can talk anymore. It's full moon here at the moment. It's hard for me. I'm somewhere else. And they can already predict the diseases you have just from this sound before it's even coming out physical. And that is already well known, but you know how it is in medicine. It takes 40, 50, 60 years or 100, and then they make money out of it. And all understandable, but not in the situation we're in at the moment, you know. They can already predict this, you know. And this is actually where the frequency is coming. A frequency is nothing else, a mathematical formula for waves, you know. So they can exactly say this frequency is doing this and this. They have done studies on it, you know. And but only on one. We have 70 trillion cells in us, you know, and they can already predict this. They have amazing results in England. They made like an MRI machine, they produce sound waves and all this. They have amazing results with people with brain tumor, but we need to investigate further why it's happening. We never hear about it. Just put sound waves and brain tumor in, you will be surprised. They're looking for it, but they're looking all for one certain frequencies, you know. I'll let your body decide what frequencies he's using. Yeah, that's my whole thing about it. And that's why I confuse the hell out of them, even to the doctor at the moment, you know. He said, how you do this? I said, I do nothing. It's the person's body, you know. He slowly gets it, but he started psychology as well, you know. But I mean, it's a completely different thing, you know. And it's amazing, you know. And then, yeah, Laminine gives everything you need On every study you read, when you go down this level, is always amino acids. This one is doing this one is doing this. Well, here I get 22 for it and let the body decide what to do with it. And then you flush it out anyway. So come back to the basics, you know. And I would have not canceled 97% of my products when it wouldn't work. Let's put it that way.
And you've been working with this product for a long time.
Yeah, man, I was in
practice.
the beginning extremely skeptical.
8 or 9 years, you know, you've worked with it a long time. And that was one of the fascinating things to meet you in this last year or two. I said, well, where has he been? So we can talk to him. He has a lot to teach us because, you know, that's rare that you've worked with it so long and you've been with people with various conditions. You've worked with various dosages and you have your clinical testing and your medical testing when the clients bring in their blood tests. So you've seen a lot of results from using this product and you're a trustworthy naturopathic physician. And we thank you so much for sharing your knowledge again with us today. And we'll look forward to another webinar. And your podcast will be coming up in about 2 or 3 weeks. Hopefully we'll catch you a time to record you here pretty soon. And we want to thank everybody for participating. And we'll look forward to another another webinar soon.
Okay,
and
wonderful.
be sure and get in touch with Dr. Staudacher, Subtle Energy Solution. Thank you so much. Okay.
And we speak soon,
Stay positive and be strong.
Yeah. Okay. See ya. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.